Realize, man, everybody got a story, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So,
well, I think that's what we all be interested in too, as viewers. Your story.
Correct.
Dirty Jobs is successful for a reason.
Exactly.
We want to know.
Exactly.
You know, nobody want to do that shit. We just want to know, like, oh.
Turae, I want to welcome you to Over a Drink, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for inviting me to your house here. Punchline.
Yes, man. I appreciate it. They got my picture up on the wall in the lobby.
I seen that when I came in. I said, dude, like, he's for real.
Yeah, it's
like,
a true painting. So this must be
really
my
his house. What we do, right, is we sit, we rap over the drink. We talk till the drink is gone. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. And then when the drink is over, the interview's over, man, or the conversation or whatever, the friendship. It might go bad quick. We don't know.
When the energy go, it go.
We don't know. Right?
Well, first and foremost, we having a Patron on the rocks. That's my drink.
How long you been doing comedy?
Ooh, man, I can't count all the years. I think it's like almost 30 years. I know I started comedy in 91. I just never had a feeling of, and I'm able to sit here and describe what it is now. At that time, I just knew it was something I liked doing, but I belong. I pursued it, and comedy's been very good to me. It's a blessed existence. Like, I don't realize it until I meet other young comedians. They be like, yo, I was watching you, and I'll be like, and that's when you feel old, like, oh, yeah, I have been, doing it consistently, at a certain level since, early in the 90s.
Was it just something you was like, somebody told me I'm a funny guy, so I'm gonna get up here and tell jokes, or I just feel like I can entertain the crowd?
I always, like this is a perfect specimen now, brother. You know how it is now. Dark skin, you good now.
Yeah, we in the game.
Now. Right. Well.
80s, late 80s, we wasn't in the game.
Yeah, so I grew up with very thick skin. Like, I got picked on. I was skinny, big head. So by the time I got to high school, it was one level. And in high school, gladiator school, as far as jonesing and being ridiculed and all of that. So by the time I got to college, I was like razor sharp. This girl came up to me one day. She was like, you coming to open mic night tonight? And I'm like, what's open mic night? And she was like, it's comedy. You come up and tell your jokes. And I was like, I'm not no comedian. She's like, women say stuff to you. She's like, you funny. I like literally stood on stage and talked about my friends or my experience. I think this was like March. So you figure from September to March in freshman year of college. Yeah. I just was talking about what I had been through, and people laughed. And at the end of the night, man, they gave me like a little, offering envelope for participating. It was like $75.
It's nice
and
little
it was
come up. First paycheck.
Right. It was like clean, and it was, I don't think I ever felt that way about anything that way. It was like, this is something I can do. Not only that, this is something I'm supposed to be doing. The way I moved through comedy was to get into the Laugh House. And I was in the Laugh House when it was Catch a Rising Star, David Brenner's. I was a busboy. One day, I'm doing a show at Temple University with a band, like they hired a band. And the guy in the band after the show said to me, he said, man, my brother-in-law does this show down in South Philly every Monday, comedy show. You come down. And I went down, and it was like, that's where I met those who would take me through.
Gotcha.
That's where I met D. Lee.
Okay.
And D. Lee became my mentor, and D. Lee is who eventually ended up buying into Catch a Rising Star, and it became the Laugh House.
Gotcha.
So I basically had like a front row seat to the creation of urban comedy in Philadelphia. I was a kid that grew up in the Laugh House. Like, I got the chance to go on stage every night. I got a chance to hang out with the greats in comedy. I got the scraps. Like, D would sometimes want to host, and then sometimes he wouldn't. Sometimes he would come downstairs, because D used to live over top of the club. You talking about some Lord Emperor shit. This dude used to come downstairs, look at the crowd, and be like, you got it.
Going back upstairs.
Right, going back upstairs, I'd be like, at the time I was looking at it like, man, this dude, but I realized I never turned that down. I never turned that opportunity down. And it was like, man, I'm going on stage, and I realized that when I look back on it, I was on stage Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for weeks, months, and years at a formative time of my life, but also at a formative time for comedy. So something that I just did living became training that most comedians are never going to get.
Stand-up comedy I tend to get bored with it. You're talking to me about your sex life. You're talking to me about your kids. You're talking to me about your wife. You're talking to me about your girlfriend. You're talking, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I kind of heard that joke already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been down that road, and a lot of them are younger than me at this point. You know what I mean? I'm 48 now, so I'm like, kind of, you know, what you're talking about. I did that 12 years ago. I was watching some of your stuff, and your presence on stage. I was like, damn, this dude, like, he comes out on stage like he don't even really give a shit. Like, he's super comfortable out here. And then when I started listening to you, you know, your material, I'm like, and he's an adult.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you see how do you sit through and help?
I can't. I hate being at the club before it's time for me to go on, because that means I gotta watch all this bullshit. If I'm headlining, that means there's comedians in front of me that I may or may not want to see.
Yeah.
If I'm opening, there's a good chance that I'm on stage with like the Samoas or the Mike Epps. So yeah, I want to see they set.
Correct.
But there's even times I'll be like, because as a comedian, quite honestly, I never want to not be a fan. How do I watch young comedians? I try to give them advice. That's how I can stomach it. Like if it's wrong and I'm just sitting there like so bored, I'll tell them. I'll be like, you know, maybe you could do this. If they ask. I was just in Indianapolis. And it was funny because there's a vet, me and another veteran comedian. Remember, it's my man Mike James. He's sitting here. And the young lady sat down right in front of me. And she just turns around right in my face. She's like, so what you think about my set? And Mike could see my face. I was like, I mean, it was good. Like, she caught me. And I really don't like, you know, shitting on nobody's dreams.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Who am I, you know?
Same.
But I get what you mean when it's not entertaining to you, and I think a lot of comedians miss that.
I was looking through some of your, through social media, right? I'm like, this dude don't even post nothing. I'm like, now I've heard his name a few times. I'm like, who the hell is he? You know what I mean? But what's your reasoning, I guess, behind keeping, are you just that comfortable and that confident with your game? Like, listen, I don't have to do that no more. I'm past that point.
I wish. As far as me putting so much of my material thoughts onto a platform where people could just watch it over and over and over again, it gets tedious because at a certain point, why would I come see you?
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
I still want to sell out arenas. I still want people to come hear me live.
I had a cat, he came to the station one time, one of the comedians, I don't know if he was performing here, but he came to do one of the shows at the station early in the morning. And he handed me his phone. He's like, yo, can you shoot this for me? And my first thought was, this corny motherfucker want me to shoot his video for him, right? So he could do this thing to post it. Right. But then after the fact, I said, damn, he just got a professional photographer to shoot his video for him for free. Like, maybe I'm the idiot. It must be getting a little tough to be a comedian in this current political correctness environment.
Well, no, you know what it is, dude? All those comedians that have problems when they say something, they get sanctioned, it's because they're all affiliated with other monies. You know, Kevin can't say nothing.
Yeah.
There's too many monies affiliated with
Got
him.
you.
You know, nobody can really. Cat, you can put any of them names that's making millions. Once you start making millions, it's not your money no more. It's our money. We're making money together. You represent this, that, and the other. That too says something to you.
Gotcha.
As a comedian, if I tell a joke that you don't like, you're gonna walk up to me afterwards, you're gonna say what you're gonna say, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
And it's over.
And that's it. Like, what really power do you have over me? When you gonna pick it? I don't like to offend. But if I feel a certain way, I will say that. When you're telling jokes that people's sensitivities are about, they don't wanna hear that shit.
No doubt.
You gotta be careful with that when you jump that out there, because somebody's gonna challenge it, and if it ain't funny or convicted enough, it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
And then you lose the crowd.
You ever play a room where you was just like, dude, this is just not my room, man?
There's a little bar in Philly called Champagne's. I was like, I'm 2-5 all time at Champagne's. Like, I just I can't do right in that room, nigga. Every time I'm in that room, they give me the business. I came up on ski trips and crab feasts.
So
They literally used to put the comedians on when they served the crabs. Like, come on, ain't nobody paying us no mind, but had to deal with that. 2:30 in the morning shows after it's been a 12-hour open bar.
I was down in Atlanta. My man took me to a comedy spot out there, right? And we walk in, first thing on the wall it says, hecklers will be thrown out of the club.
Yeah.
Right? And my first thought was, and again, because I don't do too many comedy spots, my first thought was, what kind of soft-ass comedians y'all booking here?
Back in the day, in the vaudeville days, you know, there would always be somebody on stage doing something, and there'd be somebody in the audience like, I can do that, but they couldn't. They wouldn't say it, and they wouldn't try it. Now they do it. They walk up on stage. They throw things. They say things that that totally take the steam out of a show.
Got you.
People can get mean. You know, I've seen comedians get mean. You know, and say things like, I've seen comedians I've seen a guy get up and tear a whole show apart by just leaving. He ain't say shit. He ain't do shit. Comedian was just going in on him. And the guy got up, put his jacket on. Because he had like a sports coat. Just put his jacket on, so he buttoned the jacket. He said, I might be a big head and I might not be this, but tonight, you not funny. When I tell you, that whole room was like, ooh, like he just dropped the whole, that was back in the day. Now, that dude runs up on stage with a gun or, it just gets out of hand. So before, a lot of clubs, again, man, I'm telling you, liability.
Yeah, I just read it wrong. Because I was like, dude, what kind of comedians
they got? You was coming in there to
it?
give them some, huh?
No, not intentionally. But my thing was like, if you're whack, I'm gonna let you know you're whack.
Yeah.
Like I paid my money to be here.
Some people do more than that, though. Some people do more than just let you know.
Yeah, I just got up and walked out.
Right.
And then he was like, where you going?
Exactly.
Well, all y'all going to the bathroom? Nah, we all leaving because you kind of lame, dude.
Let me tell you.
And that's what it is,
You
man.
walk the crowd, dude. And you know it, that's called walking the crowd. When people start walking, you be like, ooh. And when I come through and do my thing, I always want it to be known that I'm here to not just reinforce what I'm doing, but what was done before me.
Facts.
So that stand-up comedy isn't just looked at like, oh, it's just nah, man. Some cats really did some things in this game, and you need to know it.
Well, look, man, my drink is about gone, man.
You filled me up again, but that's cool. I'll take it down.
That ain't had nothing to do with me, man. They said you need a refresher. I said no. He might though.
Good thing.
Well, I appreciate you coming out, kicking it with me, man, for a little while, man. Thank you for some time, man. It's a good time. Enjoyed the conversation, man. Same to you, brother. Same to you, man. Maybe I'll get back into these comics because I said I kicked it with you, man.
Come check out Soul Comic. Between me and my co-host, man, we can't get you laughing. Maybe comedy ain't for you.
It might not be. Because sometimes I'll be sitting there like, dude, why the fuck is everybody laughing, man?
Right.
Like, I want to laugh too, man. Like I'm not a hater.
Right.
Like, in the sense that I just don't get it. Like, I just don't.
And you know what, man? I get, and as a comedian, I don't feel that, like, all comedians are funny. Like, comedians say that to me, and they be like, who do you think is funny? I'm like, man, I want to ask me that. Right? Because I got my, and you got yours.